And here are the headlines.
President Rodrigo Duterte approves Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine period extension until April 30, 2020. PNP creates a task force to look after the needs of COP frontliners amid the extended ECQ in Luzon. PhilHealth sets a new package rate for COVID-19 patients beginning April 15. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson moved to intensive care unit after coronavirus symptoms worsened. And a Greek child piano prodigy composes music to support COVID-19 patients and frontliners.
The Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine is extended until April 30 of 2020, while the President has the discretion to relax the implementation of the ECQ in some local jurisdictions. Rosalie Cos details why.
To prevent the further spread of coronavirus disease in the country, President Rodrigo Duterte has approved the recommendation of the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases or IATF-EID to extend the enhanced community quarantine over Luzon to April 30, 2020.
We have discussed it actually even before this. We are inclined to extend the lockdown up to April 30. Tignan natin after that.
At pagkatapos ng kanyang announcement ay verify po namin ulit at ang sagot po ay ang enhanced community quarantine is hereby extended until 11:59 p.m. of April 30.
The palace official added that the President has the discretion to relax the implementation of the ECQ in some local jurisdictions or the granting of exemptions in favor of certain sectors, as public health considerations and food security may warrant. All exemptions granted by the IATF shall continue to be in effect for the duration of the extended ECQ. Secretary Nograles also reported that based on the study of experts, the full effect of the ECQ to the COVID-19 response of the government will be realized in the middle of April. ECQ extension also intends to intensify the health capacity of Luzon and the country, including the COVID-19 testing capacity, targeting the 8 to 10,000 tests daily and 24-hour turnaround time for results. For now, IATF sees no reason to extend the ECQ to Visayas and Mindanao, though the government strictly monitors the COVID-19 cases in these island groups. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine National Police activates the Administrative Support to COVID-19 Operations Task Force or ASTF due to the extension of the enhanced community quarantine. Lea Ilagan details why.
The Philippine National Police is all geared up to implement the extension of enhanced community quarantine in Luzon. The Administrative Support to COVID-19 Operations Task Force, or ASTF, has been formed which aims to protect the health and safety of police personnel as frontliners in the battle against COVID-19. The task force will be handled by PNP Deputy Chief for Administration, Police Lieutenant General Camilo Casculan, while Chief Directorial Staff, Police Major General Cesar Hawthorne Binag, will be his Assistant Commander.
Ito ay tutulong sa management ng ating resources, supplies, at mga donations na mga binibigay ng mga non-government organizations, maging mga business groups. So, ito ay tutulong sa ating mga frontliners.
The 8 directorial personnel are members of ASTF with 5 functions. Task Group Personnel Support will handle the deployment, reserve forces, and legal support. Task Group Logistical Support will handle the transportation, PPE, decontamination, facilities, food, supply, communication, and test kits. Task Group financial support will ensure the financial support for the activities of ASTF as support to the Joint Task Force COVID or JTF CV Shield. Task Group Health Management and Medical Reserve Force will address health-related issues in the operation of Joint Task Force CV Shield and provide real-time monitoring on status of PNP personnel affected by COVID-19. Task Group Contact Tracing will ensure timely and efficient contact tracing as PNP personnel confirmed or suspected to be infected. The National Capital Region Police Office is ready to execute deployment adjustments if needed. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Health Department explains that they base their recommendation to extend the ECQ on the country's present health system and the continuous increase in the number of COVID-19 positives. Ecq Miguel reports.
The continuous increase of COVID-19 cases and the capacity of the country's healthcare system are the Department of Health's basis for recommending the ECQ extension. The Health Department explains as more and more test kits are made available, the country's testing capacity is expanded. Accreditation of more testing laboratories is also underway. The Philippine government must also gear up for a spike in the number of COVID-19 patients. More quarantine facilities must be prepared for suspected COVID-19 patients.
Tinitignan po natin ang laboratory capacity, tinitignan po natin ang kapasidad natin para mag-manage ng ating mga COVID-19, katulad ng ating mga ospital, katulad ng ating mga community quarantine facilities.
Once the ECQ is lifted, physical distancing measures must continue, the Health Department emphasizes.
Upang hindi magkaroon ng second wave o yung sinasabi nilang surge pagkatapos ng paglilift ng enhanced community quarantine na naging eksperyensya ng ibang bansa.
The DOH encourages local governments to set community quarantine facilities in place in preparation for a possible ballooning of COVID-19 cases, particularly of asymptomatic patients or those with mild symptoms, so as not to further overwhelm hospitals with COVID-19 patients. Ecq Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, a scientist believes that the enhanced community quarantine in Luzon has an impact on the spread of the coronavirus disease. While the IATF on COVID-19 says that the effect of the ECQ on containing COVID-19 may be determined next week. Vincent Arboleda tells us why.
Authorities say it might take a while to fully see the effect of the enhanced community quarantine on trying to contain the coronavirus disease. But the numbers of positive cases every day has been lower in the past days compared to the DOH record on March 29. According to Dr. Edsel Salvana, one of the experts on the technical working group for COVID-19, this might be the effect of ECQ. According to Dr. Salvana, based on data up to March 30, it takes 5 days for the numbers of infected to double, lower than the 3-day doubling time if there is unimpeded acceleration of the virus. Salvana adds that if the daily positive cases do not exceed 538, this may be an indication of the flattening of the curve or the decrease of COVID-19 cases in the country. According to Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles, we have already felt the initial effect of the ECQ since last week.
So base sa ating mga epidemiologists, mga scientists, mga mathematicians at mga eksperto, March 29 lamang po natin makikita yung earliest effect ng ating ECQ para malaman po talaga natin kung tama itong ginawa natin, kung ano ang naging effect ng ECQ dito sa Luzon.
Based on a study made by the University of the Philippines Resilience Institute, if the implementation of the ECQ is continued after April 15, the number of active cases will gradually decrease, while the number of COVID-19 cases will spike if the ECQ is lifted come April 14. The IATF said that the effect of the ECQ on containing COVID-19 may be determined next week.
Masyado pang maaga para malaman kung nag-peak, nag-slow down, nag-decelerate, anong doubling time natin at kung ano-ano pa. You need to give us at least mid-April to really study the effect of the ECQ.
Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Has installed decontamination tents in some government hospitals and offices to combat the spread of coronavirus disease. Each tent has a diffuser system that sprays disinfectant at people passing through it before they are allowed to enter any government hospital or office. As of today, the MMDA has put up decontamination tents at the Philippine Heart Center, East Avenue Medical Center, Malacanang Palace, Department of Health Central Office in Tayuman, Department of Social Welfare and Development National Relief Operations Center in Pasay City, and the DSWD Satellite Office in Quezon City. According to MMDA Chairman Danny Lim, they plan to set up more decontamination tents in various places in Metro Manila in the coming days. And now let's get the updated tally of the coronavirus cases around the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has now reached a total of 1,350,841 confirmed cases in 184 countries and regions. The fast-spreading disease has also claimed 74,870 lives with 285,437 recovered patients across the world. The United States of America now has the most confirmed cases in the world with a total of 368,449 cases and 10,993 deaths. Spain comes next with 136,675 confirmed cases and 13,341 COVID-19 related deaths. Italy is third with 132,547 positives and 16,523 fatalities. Germany now has 103,375 confirmed cases, France with 98,984 cases, and China with 82,697. Meanwhile, the Philippines Health Department reported 104 new cases today, bringing the total confirmed cases in the country to 3,764. 14 new deaths were recorded today, bringing the death toll in the country to 177. Up to date, there are now a total of 84 recovered patients in the Philippines. The Philippine National Police, or PNP, wants to ensure the safety and security of children of PNP personnel from possible exposure and contamination to the virus. The PNP chief has made another move with this objective. Leah Ilagan reports.
PNP Chief Police General Archie Gamboa orders the pullout of single parents and either or the husband and the wife of couples who are assigned in checkpoints as frontliners.
Isa lamang ang siyang maaaring mag-duty na, no? At yung isa ay doon na lamang siya sa back-end, doon sa administrative functions. So, hindi na dapat siya ma-expose doon sa ating frontline.
The pullout also includes PNP personnel with a husband or a wife in the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Pari yun ay pahayag sa kanilang immediate superior na iyon ang magiging agreement ng mag-asawa.
Bana clarifies, however, the PNP personnel with occupational specialty like doctors, nurses, members of the chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear and explosives or CBRNE team and personnel with similar technical qualifications shall be prioritized for deployment provided they are not immunocompromised. Leah Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
COVID-19 patients may avail new package rate set by PhilHealth. This package is part of the government's move to assist Filipinos amid the coronavirus pandemic. It will begin on Wednesday next week. Joanne Nano tells us why.
Starting April 15, individuals to be admitted in hospitals and medical facilities due to COVID-19 will be entitled with a new case rate package set by the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation or PhilHealth. According to PhilHealth President and Chief Executive Officer, retired General Ricardo Morales, the new COVID-19 case rate package will be comprised of 4 categories. Under PhilHealth's approved guidelines, mild pneumonia package is set as 43,997 pesos. 143,267 pesos for moderate pneumonia, while those with severe pneumonia will be entitled with 333,519 pesos and 786,384 pesos for critical pneumonia. Pneumonia is a dangerous coronavirus complication.
Walang dapat ibayad ang mga pasyente. Actually, naglabas kami ng advisory sa mga hospital at saka sa public din about this policy. May mga area siguro na hindi naaabot itong guidelines nito, pero tinatawagan namin yung mga hospital administrators to remind them na dapat wala silang isisingil sa mga pasyente, walang ibabayad ang mga pasyente at sasagutin lahat ng PhilHealth ang mga gastusin mga sa nagkakasakit ng COVID-19.
PhilHealth will base the grant of medical assistance upon the date of a patient's hospital admission. As for patients under investigation or those who have symptoms of COVID-19, they will be granted a 14,000 peso medical assistance as well as coverage for the cost for COVID testing. The country's health insurance says it has approved the release of an almost 6 billion peso fund to cover COVID-19 patients. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Authorities set up dedicated control points for cargo vehicles nationwide while the enhanced community quarantine is being implemented. Asher Kadapan Jr. is here to tell us why.
Joint Task Force Coronavirus Shield, the enforcement arm of Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Disease, has put up 107 dedicated control points or DCPs across the country. Every DCP is manned by PNP Highway Patrol Group or HPG personnel and local police. They are assigned to inspect cargo vehicles that transport essential goods. Other vehicles are checked by authorities from the 3,593 quarantine control points or QCP. Cargo vehicles will no longer be required to go through checks at QCPs, which will help local police focus only on authorized person outside residence. This will ensure unhampered movement of cargo vehicles carrying food items and other basic necessities amid the ongoing implementation of ECQ. But Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar expects authorities at checkpoints to intensify inspection of cargo vehicles, other motorists, and pedestrians.
Pag nasa QCP ka, higpitan mo ang pag-check ng mga non-cargo vehicle para siguraduhin na walang unauthorized person na nasa labas. At pag ikaw naman ay nasa DCP o dedicated control points, higpitan mo ang pagbabantay ng mga cargo. Pero wag mo i-check ang iba pang mga vehicle, mga non-cargo vehicle.
For any inquiries or complaints, contact the JTF COVID Shield through their hotline numbers or via email. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The preparation of quarantine ships to be used by the national government to accommodate incoming seafarers is underway. The ships are now docked at the port of Manila. Joanne Nano details why.
Representatives from the Department of Health, Bureau of Quarantine, Philippine Coast Guard and Maritime Industry Authority inspected today the sea craft that will be used as COVID-19 quarantine vessels. The 2 sea vessels, volunteered by a private shipping company, will serve as the quarantine facility for Filipino seafarers to be repatriated in the coming days, estimated number at 400. Seamen with COVID-19 symptoms and those with no symptoms but will arrive from a country hit by coronavirus will also be quarantined here. Each ship can accommodate up to 1,500 patients. The DOH and the Bureau of Quarantine will create health protocols that will be implemented on the quarantine ships. The Philippine Coast Guard will be tasked to conduct regular disinfection of the ships and to deliver personal protective equipment sets, medical supplies, food, and other necessities of patients and health workers that will be housed on the ships. Meanwhile, BRP Gabriela Silang has arrived in the country. BRP Gabriela is the largest of PCG's maritime vessels. It will be used to ferry medical supplies and health workers to hospitals in the provinces. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Trade and Industry ordered lessors to give grace periods to their lessees during the implementation of the enhanced community quarantine. Ray Pelayo reports why.
The Department of Trade and Industry grants a 30-day grace period for lessees who are incapable of paying commercial and residential rents during the ECQ period. The memorandum circular on this move was issued on April 4 after the passage of Republic Act 11469 or the Bayanihan to Heal as One. Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez says this measure aims to help Filipinos and micro, small, and medium enterprises to survive while the country is under the public health emergency. There should be no additional interest, penalties, fees, and other charges during the grace period. The cumulative amount of rental fees during the ECQ should be amortized, divided into 6 months, and could also be added to the succeeding rental payments. Lessors are not obliged to refund if the rental fee is already paid during the ECQ, but should be given a 30-day grace period for the next due of payment. The DTI also calls on the lessor to waive or at least give a discount to lessees for their rents during the ECQ. Secretary Lopez clarifies that no lessee should be evicted if he is unable to pay rent during the ECQ. Lessor who will not grant the 30-day grace period to a lessee shall be penalized with imprisonment of not less than 2 months or fine of not less than 10,000 pesos or both. Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine has been extended. And one of the things the government must accomplish during this period is the mass testing for COVID-19, according to Interior Secretary Eduardo Anyo. Dante Amento reports.
The government's mass testing is scheduled to begin on April 14. Who will be covered by this test? According to the Interior Secretary Eduardo Anyo and the Department of Health, the mass testing will cover patients under investigation or PUI, health workers, pregnant women, and people with other medical conditions such as cancer and diabetes.
Tayo umabot na tayo ng 8,000 tests a day. 8,000 tests a day. At ang target natin, lahat ng PUIs ay itetest na natin.
The mass testing will first be conducted in the National Capital Region, where 80% of the country's total death toll so far is recorded. Regions 4 and 3, Davao Region and Zamboanga Peninsula in Mindanao will be next.
We will focus more in testing so that we could detect and immediately isolate all possible carriers. Yan po ang ating taktika, ang ating satiya na magkakaroon po tayong tinatawag nating carrier-centric po tayo.
About 13,000 PUIs are for testing at the moment. There are more than 100,000 test kits available in the country as of today. The DOH will also use antibody rapid test kits on persons under monitoring or PUM who are asymptomatic but might have contracted the virus. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Department of Health will consider including in their mass testing guidelines testing the close contacts of COVID-19 positives, although they may be asymptomatic. Based on the current COVID-19 testing protocol in the country, those who are prioritized in the mass testing are those at high risk or the vulnerable population. The DOH is still crafting the guidelines for the expanded mass testing capacity.
Hindi po malayo na maaaring matest din ang mga close contacts o mga taong may exposure. Amin pinag-aaralan at patuloy na pinaiigting ang kakayahan ng ating mga laboratorio na gumawa ng tests. Maging ang dami ng mga test kits sa ating bansa.
The battle against coronavirus disease is no easy feat, especially for those who contracted the disease. Here's a COVID-19 survivor to tell us about her journey in dealing with a life-changing challenge and her way to recovery. Arlene Delgado has the story.
Mula sa labi ko, salamat, salamat.
Because of her condition as she battled COVID-19, all that 32-year-old Fe Rosarneo could do was sing to ease the pain she was feeling and to give thanks as well to medical workers. But now that she has recovered, Fe is using her voice to share her COVID-19 journey to inspire others. Fe was in denial at first and could not believe that she got the disease. She says she began suffering headache on March 13, which was followed by fever, cough, and diarrhea, until her condition worsened and had difficulty breathing, which forced her to go to the hospital. Fe was in shock when her test results came out positive. She remains clueless where she contracted the disease. The journey was not easy for Fe, but she owes it all to God and to medical frontliners who supported her all the way to recovery.
Yung mga motivation nila sa'yo, ma'am, magpagaling kayo, kumain kayo ng maayos. Nakaka-proud lang din kasi sila kasi grabe talaga yung sakripisyo nila na ginagawa para lang makarecover yung mga pasyente nila. Wala akong dinadasal kundi bigyan lang niya ako ng second life.
After experiencing the disease herself, Fe appeals to the public not to discriminate frontliners and all COVID-19 patients and survivors.
Pero nung nasa ambulance na ako na pabalik dito ng bahay, nandun yung kaba. Nandun yung kaba kasi hindi mo maiiwasan, mami, na i-discriminate ka. Yung mga tao po sa labas, syempre may iba na natakot, may iba na nagkulong. Huwag mo po sila i-discriminate talaga kasi nakakapanghina po talaga yun. Tapos, imbis na i-discriminate nyo sila, ma'am, suportahan po natin sila.
She also has this advice to COVID-19 patients who are giving their all to defeat the disease.
Prayers lang po. Keep on praying. Tsaka, kaya po talaga makasurvive sa COVID na to. Lakasan nyo lang po yung loob nyo. Tsaka wag po kayo mawawalan ng pag-asa.
Arlene Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Commission on Population fears millions of Filipinos might be affected by COVID-19 in a period of 1 year. Unplanned pregnancies might also reach up to 100,000 within the ECQ period. Ray Pelayo explains why.
Most of the Philippine population might contract COVID-19 if the public would not support the government's measures in fighting the disease. National Economic and Development Authority Undersecretary and Commission on Population and Development Executive Director Juan Antonio Perez III said in the program Get It Straight with Daniel Razon this morning, the estimate is based on the experience of other countries who has suffered the virulence of coronavirus.
Baka ang sa loob ng isang taon hanggang Disyembre, baka umabot ng 40 to 60% ng population magkaroon ng COVID. Pero katulad ng sinasabi nila, 80% na magkakaroon ng COVID ay walang sintomas or very mild lamang ang symptoms.
Yusek Perez emphasized the senior citizens are the most vulnerable.
Batay sa bilang namin at ng UPTI, may 5.5 million na senior citizens tayo na delikado sa ganitong sitwasyon. Kaya mahigpit ang pagbili na huwag sila lalabas ng bahay.
Perez adds that the country's health system will be in deep burden if the number of COVID-19 patients reaches 50,000 due to the scarcity of ventilators. Unplanned pregnancies might also reach 50,000 to 100,000 if programs for family planning will not be implemented during the ECQ. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The curfew hours in Davao City have been extended. Meanwhile, over 100 residents in Quezon Province evacuate to a local school. Sherwin Kulubong explains why.
In Davao, the Davao City government has adjusted the curfew hours imposed in the locality due to the enhanced community quarantine from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew. The city now prohibits citizens from going outdoors from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. According to Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio, only those individuals in the exempted sector and frontliners are allowed beyond the curfew hours. Curfew violators shall face corresponding sanctions. In Nueva Ecija, the provincial government has crafted an ordinance that prohibits and penalizes discrimination against COVID-19 frontliners. This after reports of discrimination against several nurses and doctors in the province who are battling COVID-19 have reached provincial authorities. And in Quezon, some 120 individuals from Purok Bagong Sinag, Barangay Cota are now temporarily taking shelter at Cota National High School in Lucena City. This after a resident tested positive for coronavirus. The COVID-19 patient has been admitted in a health facility while the case contacts have been isolated. Through this move to evacuate, the Lucena City government wants to assure the safety of the citizens since their houses are closely packed. The 120 individuals are now considered persons under monitoring. Sherwin Kulubong, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
After testing positive for coronavirus on March 26, United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson was moved to a hospital on Sunday. Now he is in intensive care. Jovic Bermas reports why.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been moved to intensive care in a hospital after his coronavirus symptoms worsened, Downing Street has said. According to a Number 10 spokesman, the 55-year-old official was moved on the advice of his medical team and is receiving excellent care. Johnson has asked Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab to deputize where necessary, the spokesman added. The Queen has been kept informed about Johnson's health, according to Buckingham Palace. The Prime Minister was given oxygen late on Monday afternoon before being taken to intensive care, reports say. However, he has not been put on a ventilator. Jovic Bermas, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Meanwhile, Nepal has less than 10 confirmed coronavirus cases, but as early as now, it has extended the period of nationwide lockdown. Cap Dumaraos explains why.
The Nepal government on Monday extended the ongoing nationwide lockdown until April 15 to battle the spread of the novel coronavirus disease pandemic. As countries resort to enforced lockdowns to slow down the spread of the virus, Nepal followed. The government had previously announced a week-long nationwide lockdown on March 24 in a bid to stop the coronavirus from spreading out of control. Nepal has confirmed 9 cases with 1 recovery as of today. The Ministry of Health and Population has launched hotlines 1115 and 1133 to receive more information on COVID-19, including information on testing and medical services. Nepal has a population of almost 30 million. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV. News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Jobless Americans in Arkansas queue to file for unemployment benefits amid business shutdowns. Meanwhile, Tokyo begins to move coronavirus patients with mild symptoms to hotels. Charisse Longboen reports.
In the USA, a line of jobless Americans snaked around the Arkansas Workforce Center to file for unemployment benefits on Monday after many of the country's businesses shut down in an attempt to control the spread of the novel coronavirus. Data show 10 million people filed for unemployment benefits in the last 2 weeks of March. Millions more are expected to submit claims this week or have submitted them last week. In Brazil, health Healthcare workers from the state capital of Manaus are reaching out into the Amazon's mighty tributaries to visit the remote riverside villages and warn them about the threat of the new coronavirus and to vaccinate them against other diseases like influenza and H1N1. According to local media, Governor Wilson Lima said 23 people had been admitted at the capital's public hospital with acute respiratory distress and that 2 private hospitals had already reached their capacity to deal with COVID-19 patients. Brazil has more than 12,000 confirmed coronavirus cases as of today, according to WHO. And in Japan, the Tokyo metropolitan government will start moving coronavirus patients with mild symptoms from hospitals to hotels today. Members of Japan's self-defense forces carried supplies and built partitions inside one of the hotel's Toyoku Inn near Tokyo Station to prepare for asymptomatic patients. Hotel officials said the facility will only accommodate coronavirus patients and that regular visitors will be prohibited from staying. Tokyo officials have been scrambling to secure 4,000 beds for coronavirus patients, asking hospitals to free up space in ordinary wards and even offering financial incentives, said one city official with direct knowledge of the planning. The vacated hospital beds will be allocated to patients with severe symptoms. Japan as of today has almost 4,000 COVID-19 confirmed cases. Charisse Longbowen, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Indians are breathing easier as a nationwide lockdown has kept cars off the roads and closed factories, leading to improved air quality in the world's most polluted capital city of New Delhi. Landmarks such as the Presidential Palace and India Gate could be seen against blue skies on Monday. Last year, India accounted for around half of the world's 50 most polluted cities, according to Swiss firm Ecq, with emissions caused partly by industry vehicle exhaust and coal-fired plants. In New Delhi, the air quality index has been hovering around 50 to 60 over the past few days. Air quality deemed to be good when the number drops below 50. Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe declares a month-long state of emergency in response to the coronavirus pandemic. Abe unveiled a record stimulus package of almost $1 trillion aimed at steering the world's third-largest economy through its biggest crisis since the war. Abe explained that a recent sharp rise in COVID-19 cases in Tokyo and other urban areas has forced him to rethink Japan's approach towards stemming the outbreak. A young Greek pianist has composed his own score after his father told him about what's happening around the world amid the coronavirus pandemic. Nina Armilio tells us why.
7-year-old pianist and composer Stelios Kerasidis of Nea Makri, Greece, has come up with his own original music in support of people afflicted with the novel coronavirus, as well as frontliners battling it. Stelios, a child prodigy who has won several awards, named his music Isolation Waltz.
Hi guys, I am Stelios. I am also staying at home these days. Let's all be a little bit more patient and soon we'll be able to go outside and go swimming in the sea. I am dedicating to you a piece of my own.
Stelios began tickling the piano keys at the age of 2, with his dad as his piano teacher.
And that is how gradually all this happened.
with the trips, the concerts, the awards, and his compositions.
According to Stelios' father, Fotis, the boy is continuously writing compositions while he is staying at home and wanted to create the original piece after explaining to him what the virus has caused around the world. Niña Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Our kasangbahay, we are at a time when the country is under a state of health emergency. The cooperation of all Filipinos is imperative to avoid the deadly virus. We are calling on everyone to be calm.
And most importantly, let us join together in prayer for our country and for the whole world to survive this crisis. You may join us in our daily UNTV community prayer at these hours as flashed on your screens. Those are the reasons behind the news. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And I'm Angelo Castro III. Because we need to know. We will always ask why. Good evening.